everybody and welcome back. Why does Indian government prohibit public from going into Bhangarh Fort at night? Is it true that Bhangarh Fort turns into a hotbed for paranormal activities after sunset? Many who have challenged this belief and sneaked into Bhangarh Fort at night have either gone missing or severely injured, and some have even died. What is the story behind Bhangarh Fort and why is it so haunted? Bhangarh Fort, known as the most haunted place in India, is located at the border of Sariska Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan's Alwar district. There have been so many strange and unexplainable incidents that the Archaeological Survey of India has forbidden any tourists or locals around from entering Bhangarh Fort after sunset and before sunrise. Bhangarh Fort, once a flourishing town, was built by Madho Singh, who was Emperor Akbar's general. It is believed that this place was full of life and very beautiful once upon a time. Thousands of people used to reside there. There are two stories on how the place became so haunted. Before Bhangarh Fort was built, that place was used by a sage for meditation. His name was Guru Balunath. He agreed to the construction of the fort on one condition, that the shadow of the fort should never ever fall on his abode. Everybody honored this condition except one of Madho Singh's successor, who added to the construction, which resulted in a shadow being cast on the sage's abode. This angered Guru Balunath, who cursed all of Bhangarh and its surroundings to be doomed. All the inhabitants of Bhangarh were killed brutally in a horrific war the following year. It is believed that all those people who died in that war are doomed to wander about in that fort and never leave. People believe that this has made the spirits restless and extremely dangerous over the years. There is also another story on how Bhangarh became so haunted. Centuries ago, there was a beautiful princess named Ratnavati who was the daughter of Chatur Singh of Bhangarh. The tale of her beauty spread far and wide, and many people wanted to marry her. There was also this evil tantric priest who was well versed in black magic, who fell in love with the princess. He knew he didn't stand a chance with her. So to bewitch her, he cast a spell on a perfume which was being bought for the princess by one of her maids. The princess was expected to fall in love with the tantric the moment she sprayed on the perfume. But that's not what happened. The princess became aware of it and she threw away the perfume bottle, which accidentally fell on a boulder. As strange as this sounds, the boulder crushed the tantric, who before taking his last breath cursed Princess Ratnavati, her family and all of Bhangarh. The following year, Princess Ratnavati and all of her army was massacred in a war. And because of the curse, anyone who died there was condemned to stay there forever and never to be reborn. No one is allowed to enter Bhangarh Fort after sunset or before sunrise. The fort, which is so serene and beautiful in the morning, busy with tourists, has a very ghostly atmosphere at night. The locals have many tales to tell about that fort. People who broke the rule and went inside the fort at night have either disappeared, injured or dead. And the very few who survived could not explain what happened inside. This is why it is forbidden to venture about or stay at the fort at night. Bhangarh Fort, which dates back to 17th century, has so many scary facts that sends chills down your spine. You should be aware of it if you're planning to visit. Some of the tourists who visited the place in the morning have claimed to feel anxious and heavy, like they're being followed. Well, you might say that it could be their minds playing tricks after hearing all the stories about the place. The history of Bhangarh Fort is full of pain and misery. The locals have so many stories to share about all the incidents that has happened there. This is one of the numerous accidents that's happened at Bhangarh Fort. Once, 3 people stayed back at the fort at night to prove the story wrong. Despite being equipped with torches, one of them fell into a steep well who was rescued by his friends. However, on the way to the hospital, all 3 of them died in an accident like it was meant to be. Many tourists claim to have seen an apparition of a scary man who was found standing inside a house staring. That house had no doors but just a window. Another strange fact is that all the houses in Bhangarh are roofless. Every house located in the vicinity of the fort has no roof. They say it is impossible to build a roof because they somehow mysteriously collapse after the construction is over. The locals believe that this is because of the curse of sage Guru Balunath. Even though the fort becomes a hotbed for paranormal activities at night, one must visit the fort during the day to enjoy the most amazing architectural wonders. It is one of the most beautiful tourist destinations. Irrespective of its scary stories, Bhangarh is a spectacular place to visit. If not for a spooky paranormal experience, then certainly to enjoy the beauty and the serenity of it. Thank you so much for watching the video and showing so much support. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe and the bell button. We'll be back with more. Have a wonderful day and take care.